Alright, so I sat down to make a video. I was going to make a little like iPad stand slash sound redirector thing. Just as a fun project, fun video to shoot. And my camera won't turn on. My Canon 70D will not power on, and I've been looking up solutions, Google, YouTube, can't find anything. So that's what the video is going to be, just me trying to fix my camera. So join me on this journey. I'm afraid that it might be fried because what I did was I plugged in this guy, and it was, when I turned it on, it was flashing the low battery thing, which it's never done before. So I thought maybe it was this outlet that I had it plugged into, and that wasn't it. And I thought maybe it was this extension cord that I had plugged into, that wasn't it. So I plugged it in to this guy, which I've used plenty of times and I know that it works. It's still not working. So I thought, well, maybe it's just this thing that's broken. So I put in both my batteries, neither of them work, they're both charged. Tried, taking out the battery, taking off the lens, taking out the card, letting it sit there, flip on and off, or flip the on-off switch, put everything back in, turn it on, nothing's working. I just found a video of a guy who fixed his by getting this little latch centered. Mine is already centered, and I tried pushing it in manually, still not working. So I was looking up some solutions. I found this solution for a 7D, which I realize is not my camera, but I thought maybe it would still work since it's a Canon DSLR. And I went, oh, it's answered. Sweet, let's look at the answer. And wah wah. Alright, just looked up another possible solution, which was to get this, where's my finger? Whoa. To get, man, my nails are disgusting, I apologize. To get this little latch pushed in, make sure that was making contact, and it is. That's still not working. This sucks. It could just be a board issue, which, if that's the case, I'd have to send it into Canon for probably like 30 or 40 bucks just to get a diagnosis. And then if it is a board issue, it's probably going to be 200 bucks to replace it, and another 200 for labor, which means all in, I'm probably going to spend around, between $450 and $500 after shipping and all that stuff. So now I'm wondering, okay, do I ship off my 70D, get it fixed for $500, and still have the same camera that I've been using for 3 or 4 years now? Or do I upgrade to another Canon DSLR like the 80D? Or do I make the switch to mirrorless? I don't know. The only problem there is that this is the stock lens, so whatever, but it is a nice lens. The autofocus on it is incredible, but whatever. But this is another lens I love. This is my 60mm lens, another USM lens, which wasn't super pricey, but also I love this lens. And this is my newest lens, the Sigma 20mm 1.4 art lens, and this thing is beautiful. It's crazy heavy, but it looks amazing. And I would just hate to say goodbye to all these lenses, not to mention that they're, an investment of sorts. The only problem is, like, for what I do, I just feel like a mirrorless lens, especially looking into the future, a mirrorless just makes more sense. I don't do a lot of photography, and the little bit that I do wouldn't be affected that much by just having a mirrorless camera. So I'm looking at the Panasonic Lumix GH5, the Lumix GH5, which is a camera that is not super pricey. It's about it's 2,000 bucks, which is pretty pricey, but for what you get and for the fact that I would be upgrading, it doesn't seem like that much. And especially if I could sell my lenses, I don't know. I hate the idea of not using this camera anymore. I love this camera. But I don't love the idea of spending $500 just to get it fixed when it's already pretty old. The other nice thing about getting a mirrorless camera would be that it would work better with my excuse me. It would work better with my Pilot Fly H2. I love this thing, and I use it with my 70D. When my 70D is like kind of pushing the limits as far as how much weight this can support, but it still works really great. But a mirrorless camera would be a lot lighter and would probably perform a bit better on this. So that's one other thing. I don't know. It's something I got to think about, talk about, kind of weigh my options. Zip. Now, I know that I could use an adapter like a Metabones or something to get my Canon lenses onto the GH5, but the thing... Sorry, my shoes squeak. But the thing is, like, if I'm gonna go with a super light, like, mirrorless camera, especially if I'm using it on my gimbal, you know, when you're using a gimbal, it's all about balance. So if I have a somewhat heavy camera body like the 70D, and then I put a somewhat heavy lens on the front of that, it's going to be the center of balance is going to be pretty even. It's going to be like right in the middle. But if I get a super light camera body like the GH5 or another mirrorless camera, and then still put that same lens and an adapter on the front of it, it's going to shift that center of balance toward the front of the camera, which means on the gimbal I have to shift the whole camera back. And right now with the 70D body on my gimbal, I have to put it pretty far back, almost to where it won't go back anymore. And so I think if I put my existing lenses on the mirrorless camera, it might render my gimbal unusable. So I'm just trying to decide whether it's better to invest in an adapter for the EFS lenses and get the new camera, or if it would be better to try to sell my old lenses, get brand new lenses for the mirrorless camera. I just gotta kind of weigh my options. This kind of sucks because I was really hoping to, you know, start making a ton more videos. And this happens like right at the beginning of when I'm kind of like getting on a roll again. But I'm gonna figure it out, and in the meantime, I'll probably just continue to shoot stuff on my phone because that's what I'm shooting on right now. I don't know. What would you guys do in this situation? Would you keep the Canon and pay $500 for the repair and have the same camera that you've had for the last like 3 or 4 years? Or would you spend a little bit more and get kind of a more upgraded system? I don't know. Just let me know what you would do in the comments. And until next time, see ya!